Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's bright and early, daily discipline, mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through Sunday. Let's jump right into our study group for warriors, for my hardcore heads. Basically, I just go through my notes. I take notes every single day. It's part of a program that I live, that I coach, and that I mentor. And if you want to get on the mind, body, and soul program, contact me. Go to my website. I always put the link below. You can just find me on social media. Let's start off with some fun stuff. I got somehow sucked into this weird SpongeBob conspiracy rabbit hole into YouTube. Went pretty far down it. I used to watch SpongeBob years ago. And it was one of those cartoons that I kind of loved to hate because SpongeBob is such a little weakling, such a pussy. But it's a happy show. So I found myself watching it, and I like cartoons. And talk about conspiracies. There's a Nickelodeon conspiracy, which isn't so fun. And it has to do with the QAnon stuff. But let's get into the SpongeBob conspiracy. Here's just a couple points that I thought were interesting. SpongeBob is located, it's Bikini Bottom, right? That's the name of the town, of the city, Bikini Bottom. Well, SpongeBob and Bikini Bottom are located at Bikini Atoll, which was a nuclear testing site. All the creatures in Bikini Bottom, all the fish are suffering from radiation. There are mutations. There's regular fish, and then there's the mutated Bikini Bottom fish that can talk. They wear clothes. Krabby Patties, here's another one. Krabby Patties, their secret formula. I'm going to give away the secret formula. The Krabby Patty secret formula is whale. That's what they're made of. It's whale meat. Krabby Patties are made from Mrs. Krabs. Mr. Krabs' dead wife, Pearl's mother, a giant whale, was murdered by Mr. Krabs. He murdered her. And he's been making the Krabby Patties out of her dead body. So think about that next time you're watching SpongeBob. Patrick Star, he's an evil supervillain. He's not stupid. That's all an act. And Squidward, who I think is probably one of the better characters on the show, poor Squidward. SpongeBob is so evil to Squidward. He's so mean to Squidward. But poor Squidward, he has his rival Squilliam. Have you ever seen Squilliam? He's very similar to Squidward. Well, Squidward and Squilliam have been outed as gay lovers. They're homos. Not much of a kid show after all, is it? Let's go to the next one. Let's talk about pressure from society. There's a lot of pressure from society. Oh man, I've been feeling it my whole life. I still feel it. Pressure from society. There's pressure to have a family, pressure to have a wife. There's actual discrimination against single people. There's something wrong with you, right? You're a horrible loser. You're not even a man if you're not married with a family, right? That's what some guys think. These traditional Christian men, they really, really want to look down their nose and bully any guy who doesn't have a white picket fence and isn't living some sort of Leave It to Beaver lifestyle. So a lot of pressure. I felt it since I was a little boy to grow up, get married, have a family. And there's a lot of pressure, at least these days, maybe not so much in the past, but there's a lot of pressure to be wealthy, to have money. It's not good enough just to have a job. You got to be a baller. You got to be making 10 grand, 20 grand a month. You got to be making all this cash. 10 grand a week. That's a lot of money to try to figure out how to make. That's a lot of pressure. And you have women out there that they won't even fuck with a guy who's not making more than 10 grand a month. And you have people online saying, well, if you're not making at least 10, 15 grand a month, that you're a beta male. You're a loser. It's a lot of pressure. Society pressures you to be a good person. You might not want to be a good person, but society pressures you to be. We don't even know what the word good means. It's all relative. Good person for me means something different across the street. Go to my neighbor's house. They have a different philosophy on what it means to be a good person. And go 2 houses down the other direction. This guy's going to have a completely different definition of the word good and what a good person is. But there's a lot of pressure to be one. Oh, you better be a good person. You'll be ostracized. You don't even know what it means, but you better be it. And you have millions of people, I was going to say thousands, but it's more accurate that millions of people who are desperately seeking happiness, frantically seeking happiness, as if it's the only thing going. There's so much pressure to be happy. Nobody can describe it. Nobody can grasp it. Find me some happiness. Show it to me. Mail it to me. Nobody even knows what it is. What is happiness? You can't even define it. There's so much pressure to be happy. Let's move on. Life is supposed to be a transformative adventure. So what are you going to do with your life? You're going to transform into something better. That's the plan. That's the goal. You don't have a goal, I just gave you one. It's supposed to be a transformative adventure. So people can't stand changing. You're supposed to change. And how does that happen? It happens through suffering and sacrifice. We grow and learn and become stronger through suffering. We become better, more humble, and more powerful through sacrifice. Let's move on. So you want to change your life. Maybe you do. Maybe you want to change your life. Maybe you hate your life. Maybe you feel like your life sucks. Well, you need to develop a vision. That's where you start. You don't like your life, you need to have a vision for a better life. What is the vision of a better life? And be realistic. And while you're thinking of this utopia that you want to create for yourself, this heaven on earth, this new life that you think that you deserve or that you can have, be honest with yourself. That's important. An aspect of self-loyalty, to be loyal to yourself, is honesty. Some people betray themselves, they lie to themselves. And ask yourself this question: do you suck, or does your life suck? Because your life might be fine. You might suck. You may not have a sucky life. It might just be you. But if you've settled on the fact that your life doesn't, it's not you that sucks, it's your life that sucks, then look around you and think about what you can upgrade. You can make your shitty little apartment in the ghetto pretty darn nice. Trust me, I know what it's like to walk into someone's pad and to be shocked. Whoa, look how crazy it looks on the inside. On the outside, it's just the same shit that I got. And it's surprising. I remember because my brother in our apartment was terrible. It was so fucking dingy and dirty and awful and nasty and full of roaches and terrible broken furniture. And it was awful, and I hated living there. I hated it. I'd rather sit out on the front porch, and I did. I sat out on the front steps of the building most of the time. I didn't want to go inside. Go to the neighbor's house, and they got it set up like a fucking castle. It's amazing. You could upgrade what you got. But if you really want to change your life, you want to change your life hardcore, you really want to do this, you're going to have to become disciplined, daily disciplined with action, small actions, and move forward every single day with little micro goals. And you'll find at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, you have gotten pretty far on this path towards changing your life. One of the things that you may need to do along that journey is to find a new outlook. Outlook is everything. You may have an outlook of a negative nilly that may be souring your decisions and your journey as you move forward. So you might want to start embracing some positivity, that PMA, positive mental attitude. There's some things that I'm scared of. Let's go to the next one. Let's talk about some things I'm scared of. Man, this stuff is scary. It's future stuff. I'm scared of some future stuff. Now, I'm kind of a traditionalist, and I like the past better than the now. Maybe that's my own problem. Have you ever heard of this thing called CRISPR? CRISPR is scary, and you should be scared of CRISPR. I mean, I'm not trying to tell you what to be afraid of, but CRISPR is scary. It's gene modification, gene editing. And where that leads, if you really play it out, if you really think it out, that leads to some scary places. Oh, sure, it starts off with curing all the sick people, and then it goes into eugenics. And from there, it gets even scarier. CRISPR is real. It's happening right now. And it could be the end of our planet. It could be the end of humanity. CRISPR is some crazy shit. Another thing that scares me about the future is the singularity, and people have talked about that it's going to happen in 2045. It may happen sooner because AI seems to be moving forward rapidly, especially with the latest invention of the quantum computer chip. Currently, or I should say before the quantum computer, AI was advancing, from what I remember from the article I read, around 12 years every 7 days, every week. So if you talked to ChatGPT last week, it is now, this week, 12 years more advanced than it was last week. And it does that every week. Well, with the quantum computers, AI will advance 100 years an hour. So if you check ChatGPT now, it'll give you a certain level of intelligent answer. And if you wait an hour and then go check ChatGPT in an hour, this is with the quantum computer, that chatbot, that AI, will be 100 years more advanced than it was an hour ago. And it'll do that every hour. Another thing that scares me is this idea of robot soldiers. Elon Musk is telling people he's going to build millions and millions of robots. He wants to build I think it was 1 billion robots in total. These robots are fully functional. You can push it down, it can stand back up, it can do your dishes, mow your lawn, punch you in the face, whatever. Strap a dildo on it, it'll go fuck your wife for you. These things will do anything. And they're going to make them kill. DARPA, you should look into DARPA. They've developed robots which they call feeder robots. The feeder robots can stay alive on the battlefield by consuming biological matter in order to draw the energy from that matter. Dead bodies. They feed off of dead bodies. You could keep a feeder robot, one of these DARPA robots, on the battlefield indefinitely, and all it has to do is keep killing to survive. This is real stuff. And then the brain chip, Neuralink, another Elon Musk company. Of course, he's not the only one working on this, but he's one that people know about. And it's an actual computer chip that they put into your brain. They've already have a guy, a paraplegic, who they've done that to, and he's operating the internet, surfing the web, playing video games, going on Google Earth and doing all kinds of stuff, all with his brain, without lifting a finger. Just does it by thinking. Every single one of you will have a chip in your brain. We're going to be cyborgs. This is the future that scares me. end it off with a question that I've been pondering. Why do these new liberals, the neoliberals, you know which ones, the wokies, the social justice warriors, all these pink-haired cat ladies and weirdos, the homos, the queers, the twinks, the creeps, the terrorist sympathizers, they all sympathize with terrorists for some reason. Why do they want a purposeless and meaningless existence? And why then, after that, do they seem to complain so much about suffering from depression and mental illness? Because the two go hand in hand, don't they? Food for thought.